Hey guys, it's Rabbit Roo here, back with another Starcraft Broodwar Remastered cast, and today I have a retro game back from 2009, played between iNcontroL, who is the orange Zerg, and our Protoss players. His name is the LzGaMeR. He's either a LzGaMeR or is it EasyGamer. EG obviously seems to be the clan or whomever these guys were playing for at the time. Obviously iNcontroL, a beloved legendary Starcraft member of the community who sadly passed away in 2019. I managed to trawl through and find about 5 or 6 replays of his that load and work beautifully in the remastered clients, of which this is one. So I'm very excited to immortalize this guy by putting up as many of his games as I can on YouTube. There are other casters who do this. I think it's a good cause and something that's definitely worth doing. So a PvZ today, which is an added bonus. This map, by the way, is a modified version of Fighting Spirit by the looks of it. It's called God's Garden. So if you've ever played a map called God's Garden, I'd love you to let me know. I don't think that's reality. I think these guys maybe did some tweaking to their maps. You can see Nyokin is here. Someone called Get Out Idiot. One can only imagine who that is. So some observers in the game, which obviously means we can't red versus blue it. But yeah, man, PvZ. So if you do stop by the channel on a regular basis, please do hit that like button. It helps with discovery. And if you are a repeat viewer who's coming to watch me quite a lot and hasn't subscribed yet, please do join Subscriberville, man. It's a good place. There's green trees and tweeting birds. It's just lovely. All right, so it looks like we're hatch firsting here from our Zerg. And it looks like we are going with a forge opening from our Protoss. Now, our Protoss, unfortunately, has not yet scouted this and will therefore build a cannon, I think, until such time as he does scout. And the usual scout pattern, because the probe went there and then here, so you would send out a second probe just to confirm. But well, that's kind of how it's done nowadays. Maybe it wasn't done this way. I think you build the cannon as a safety in case. And then when you scout and see, oh, okay, hang on. So this was actually a hatch first. And I'm not going to be in danger from lings for quite some time. Then if the Protoss has time, they will cancel the cannon and build the Nexus. But I think he's going to be a little bit unlucky here because he's going to see, oh, okay, this hatch is pretty far done. So what do? He doesn't cancel the cannon. He just leaves it and builds the Nexus. It's just one of those things, I guess, with this game. Sometimes if you lost scout, it is just slightly bad luck. One more thing I'd like to ask from regular viewers. Please let me know how is the audio. I have spent about an hour doing some sound checks, tests, and adjustments. The last 4 videos that I released on my channel, I was very disappointed with the audio. What basically happened was I recorded in a rush and didn't check the gain on the mic, and it created terrible distortion. So I've done hard work now in actually writing down all of the settings that are needed on the microphone to create a nice, clear, and good viewing experience. If I've achieved this, please do let me know. I would appreciate the feedback. So this just seems to be a safe back base, which is pretty handy dandy. So that's probably why Zerg went for the hatch first, although he did it here and then he built his third hatch over here. So 3 hatches pretty quickly indicates to me, especially with there being no lair, probably some hydro pressure could be expected. And we have a pretty strange looking sim. But at least for the purposes of a sim, your units can still freely get out. You have a bit of protection from the cannon. This is probably more than decent. You probably don't need to wall this little area, and therefore you only have to create a line of zealots here. So yeah, man, I'm pretty excited. I think iNcontroL has gone 4 hatches. So looking and obviously feeling incredibly confident. He has a grand total of 2 lings on the map. He has an overlord who can see, okay, well, our opponent has gone forge, and therefore he's only got 1 zealot. 1 zealot is not something that is particularly difficult to respond to, but I do expect, because of this relatively aggressive macro or greedy macro style, that there will be a timing here for Protoss to take advantage of. So let's see what he does. This is a very, very quick second gas. Your second gas you would have gotten here just after core. Stargate is on the way, Citadel is on the way. So the timings from EasyGaMeR are really crisp. To have all of that up sub 5 minutes, his build has been beautifully on point. So these are clearly 2 very strong players. And based on the starts they have, I think we can look forward to some some macro action for all y'all. Alright, so in the comments, please do say yes or no, Rabbit, you have finally got the audio right. And if you have stuck with me through all of the trials and tribulations I've had with my audio, I just want to say thank you, right? I started with a headset microphone. I didn't know how to adjust levels. I didn't even know what a limiter was. Then I bought a nice microphone, and then I thought, okay, so all my problems were solved. But they weren't, because if you don't understand limiters and you don't understand gains and all of the things that come with microphones, then you can still produce probably even worse audio results, which I think I have done once or twice. So I'm hoping today's the day, man. I really want to hear it. I want the music to be there, but not too soft. The game effects to be there, and for me to neither be too loud or too soft. So if I've achieved that, it'll make my life sunshine and rainbows. If I'm not quite there, send me an almost and tell me what it is that you think I need to adjust. And I will constantly keep working at it until one day everybody comments, "You got it right, man. Now keep an eye on the minimap," or something else. Okay, so Corsair's in, flying around. Okay, sees it is Hydras. I imagine behind this he's probably going to build a few more cannons. This sim is really inconvenient for exploding a whole bunch of cannons, unfortunately. This is a really weird map. It's like a watered down version of LzGaMeR with a free backbase. Would be probably the way I could describe it. So the lair has come up over here. Pretty early robo from our LzGaMeR. Which gives me a view that he may be looking to go Reavers. Wow, his Templar Archives is done already. Very tech heavy, up to 3 gates. Pushing out some High Templar. He's going to be safe as houses from any Hydra harassment from iNcontroL. In fact, I think Protoss is probably gearing up to move out for maybe a 7 or a 7:30 timing. The robo here, though, is interesting because it does make me wonder. Here comes a DT, here comes some High Templars. An early gas is fine, but 2 gas is 2 gas. It is limiting. There's only so many things you can finance. So you've got the robo and a shuttle. Okay, so it's a drop, potentially a storm drop. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. This Corsair is giving Protoss all the intel they need to understand where iNcontroL is, how many bases he has, what his tech tree looks like. We don't see a Spire anywhere. I think he would be scouting that, so he can probably just expect lurkers in the not too distant future. So pretty standard sort of Hydra build from Zerg. He's taking a sub 8-minute third base, but it is that safe back base that we were discussing. So only accessible by air. And if your opponent doesn't have a Spire, you literally have nothing to worry about. So perfectly sensible, and probably one of the nice upsides of this map is this free back base. So Protoss can move on to 3 bases pretty fast. So I think we could really gear ourselves up here for an exciting macro game with lots of big fights. Okay, so this Overlord's been caught out. His Hydras are going to come and try and save him. I think they just might get the job done here. This Corsair's... Oh, okay, so he loses the Corsair and doesn't get the Overlord. That's a bit unfortunate, but he's not really in a position where he's in oodles of danger. I think his front door is pretty secure. He's got quite a number of cannons. +1's about to finish. Only 3 Zealots, though. So where is our shuttle? Here it is. Well spotted me. I think the Overlord might have seen that, though. So there's an Archon and 2 High Templars in a shuttle. And here he goes. So these drones... the Overlord spotted it, so he pulls the drones. Really, really good play. But these are DTs that have been dropped here and a Dark Archon. So the Overlords are going to have to move in and do something here. But the Archon's probably going to target down the Overlord so that these DTs can get maximum damage. There's only about... Okay, so there's a nice, decent group of Hydras that are going to come here and probably tidy up these DTs. But they get the hatchery. What a clutch move. 2 DTs and Archon gets the job done. I think a very, very profitable move for Protoss there. Didn't have to trade a lot of units. He lost a shuttle, 2 DTs and an Archon in exchange for a hatchery. Beautifully done at such an early point in this game. I mean, now in a standard build, would you be expecting a robo from Protoss for the purposes of observers, not for the purposes of drops? And to drop 2 DTs and an Archon, not something you see every day. That was actually quite something. Okay, so iNcontroL probably getting a little bit tilted by that. Didn't enjoy that very much. He's now throwing together some lurkers. Does our Protoss have his observatory in place? So he's teched up really fast to be able to produce this move. There's the observatory now. It's just popped into the production tab. So he knows very, very soon he's going to need some protection against lurkers. And yeah, we should see some fights pretty soon. This Overlord's kind of just flown over here to discover, oh dear, okay, so this base is well established. We could see some drops. we could see all sorts of interesting things, but I see some orange moving down the map. So let's see what we get. Okay, so lurkers coming down, maybe to contain. I mean, this is a very, very difficult spot to contain. There's no overlord of this though, but the DT doesn't seem to want to engage. He just seems to want to get some information. Unfortunately, the lurkers, not siege up, that's not the right word, but burrow in range of the cannons. They get stormed into oblivion, and he got nothing for some damage on a cannon there. And in exchange, he lost probably about 4 or 5 lurkers. So not a good trade there for iNcontroL at all, unfortunately, for him. Some Scourge have popped, so the anti-shuttle is certainly in play. This lurker is able to hit this gateway without anything being seen, but an observer is on the way, so he's going to get tidied up without too much of a trouble. I don't know if iNcontroL has enough here to contain the Protoss. There's a lot of goons here, there's range, there's observers coming, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you count the gateway in front. 6 gate production, probably could go up a little bit more, considering he's on 3 bases, probably has the money to sustain 10 gateways plus. I expect we'll see a bit more of a gateway explosion soon. So there's the storm on that pesky lurker, and the Zealot's going to tidy him up. Nicely done. Observer is there, seeing what's happening. More lurkers here, so this is very much an attempt to do a lurker contain. We can see the shortage of production is starting to hurt our Protoss because he's floating some cash. He's got tons of workers. He just doesn't have the production facilities to push through. Does get his lurkers and his dragoons out here to target down the lurkers. Does have the observer. Does have 2 observers in case of snipes like that. That was very nicely done. Did get a storm off though. iNcontroL showing a sad face. I don't know if he's trolling or if he's being a supportive friend. It's difficult to tell. But he does break the contain, and I think that's probably where the sad face comes from. And Protoss needs to be on top of this. You don't want to have the Zerg on your doorstep. You don't want them to have absolute map control. And that's usually what the purpose of these contains is. Alright, so our LzGaMeR is moving out. He does need some more production facilities. He is floating too much cash, considering the base control he has, base saturation he's got. He could also probably look at taking a third, to be honest. I'll be interested to see where he moves this group of units out to. If it's over here in Sunken Land. It's a lot of Sunkens, but this isn't melee units attacking you. This is goons. Goons with range are not really something you want to be facing. The lurkers, though, should help. I imagine this group is being flanked by an observer. There's one there. I think another one would be useful because it only takes 1 Scourge snipe, and then suddenly your ability to see this lurker is gone. The observer was a bit late to the party there, so the lurker did get some free shots off. That's exactly what I was talking about. If you don't have that second observer, then boom, that shuts down your attack 1 time, and now he's got to back away. So an action-packed start to this game. Still only a 3 basing Protoss against a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basing Zerg. It's certainly important in the not too distant future for our Protoss to expand again. Looks like Zerg's checking if there are any other bases here, and looks like Protoss is regrouping. He really needs to understand that 1 observer with somebody as sharp as iNcontroL is not going to do the trick here. He needs 2, and let's hope he makes that adjustment before he moves on another base. So this base is reinforced by a lot of lurkers, so he's like, yeah, I don't know if I want that. Is building another observer, does have 1 with this army. I suggest 2 or 3. When you watch the Protosses play PvZs, they usually have a minimum of 3 observers with their main army. I think picking off the Scourge is a bargain. That's a lot of gas that's gone there for free. Oh, some lurker drops here. Oh, that's really painful. I didn't see how long this has been doing damage for, but based on the fact that he still has 62 probes, I don't think very long at all. I don't know if this has got... Oh, and there's some drops coming too here. Alright, so let's see where these drops go. The Protoss army is totally out of position. Here come the overlords from iNcontroL. He does have this pesky lurker. He's trying to pick him off, but that's not really where his attention needs to go. The observer must have seen this, but I don't know how quickly he's going to react, although he's got a ton of goons here. He's going to have to throw down some storms potentially, but it looks predominantly like lings. So he didn't throw any lurkers out. He just threw the Zerglings. They're picking away at this gateway. They don't seem to be cracklings as of yet. It just looks like their normal attack speed. They do get 1 gateway for their trouble. I don't think he lost any overlords. He managed to pull away. Meanwhile, a counter attack from Protoss, which kind of makes sense. He's not going to be able to move all these units back, and he probably doesn't need them to tidy up the schmutz of lings. There's not that many there, so that's going to get tidied up. And so a lot of the Zerg resources did go into that drop, and therefore there's less here to support. He's going to take down those lurkers, take down the Sunken. That Queen's Nest is history. If it gets targeted down, I don't know how high value of a target it is. But anyway, the Hive is going down. Any upgrades that will be contingent on that Hive are going to go down with it. A fourth base is established. The drop harassment's been tidied up here. So the question really is, can iNcontroL save his hive? It's a real pain in the arse to rebuild the hive because you've got to get another lair and then a hive. So knocks down this base. Could probably move up here and knock this one down as well. iNcontroL decides, okay, so the solution is to not engage with the Protoss army there, but it's to gather up some forces here with these lurkers and to move on the natural potentially of the Protoss. So we've got to keep an eye on this. It isn't really too much of an engagement. It's basically just Dragoons moving in and killing a hatchery. Meanwhile, the 3 cannons that are here, there are observers and not a lot of units, and there are easily 5, 6, 7 lurkers potentially that can get burrowed here. I think crackling power did kick in just before the hive died, so this upgrade's going to get denied. The robo's going to get destroyed. A ton of probes are destroyed. I think he's lost about 20 probes since this engagement. So the Protoss damage has been done. They've wiped out iNcontroL on this side of the map, but the trade-off, what it looks like, is he's going to lose his natural. He's going to probably take down the robo as well. There are some units up here. There are some observers. There are some Archons. The Archons are a great answer to this. Nice storm on the lurkers. Lots of observers in play here as well. The Archon's going to get some shots on the observers too. And it looks like he's actually going to fend off this lurker pressure and probably save the Nexus. So it's a really dicey position for iNcontroL at the moment. 76 plays 146. He's got 29 drones. Protoss could probably just gather up their sources, consolidate, and knock out one more mining base, and that's it. I don't really see where or how Zerg gets out of this one. Protoss is in a very commanding position. And we've got Reavers here, we've got cannons here. That's going to be a very difficult position to break. Most of his army's in the middle of the map, kind of ready to move. I don't think there's anything in these overlords. I think they just headed back home based on their flight path, so that's fine. So where and what does our Protoss do? He really shouldn't be giving Zerg time to consolidate. He really shouldn't be giving Zerg time to find his feet. We have Ultralisks because Hydras were not doing the job. So let's get some Ultras in play. Meanwhile, this pesky area here, which has been a constant source of harassment, which I must admit I have missed from time to time, and I do apologize, is getting reinforced here now with some more cannons. Our Protoss is in a really strong position. I think he's missing a trick though. He should be engaging with a Zerg with all his army and trying to kill this and break this natural position, because once he breaks this, Zerg really doesn't have anything left. So iNcontroL taking the bull by the horns. The cows have arrived. They're not flanked by defilers. It's just literally Ultra Ling or Ling Ultra, whatever you want to call it. Against goons, you probably want some more melee units here if you're Protoss. Dragoons against this composition are probably the worst types of units you have. Even your Storm isn't all that helpful. How's our upgrades looking on our units here? So +1/+1. Could certainly do with another upgrade, which we are busy working on +2 attack. This Zealot's, I don't know why he's running away from everybody else, but the entire Zerg army is chasing him. So he's obviously an incredibly valuable Zealot. But yeah, so, so that's happening. But anyway, alright, so this harassment seems to just be kind of coming to an end. This is the planet of the overlords. This is where they all sleep and live. The Zealot is still going, man. He has his legs. He is fit. He is a hero. He pulled the entire army away. Alright, so what are we making if we Protoss? We're making Archons. Okay, Archons are a great option here against Ling Ultra. They are very strong melee attack, and they do splash across a whole clump of units. So that's a very valuable composition, and I think that'll hold this Protoss in good stead. Also taking yet another base. I cannot see a road out of this for iNcontroL. We always root for iNcontroL for obvious reasons, but he is in a jam in this game, that is for sure. Gives a chance to listen to the Zerg music a bit while I catch my breath. Okay, so it does drop a few Lings down here just to be a pest. That goon's gonna die. Cracklings against goons, not a good match. So this base is gonna go down. There's a few Reavers here, but there's not really much in terms of mobile reinforcements. A high concentration of the Protoss army is basically just parked off here at the natural. iNcontroL has re-macroed at an incredible pace off of only 36 drones. And his army now is actually pretty scary because of its composition, although it seems to just be on patrol command, which is really frustrating as a caster. You really don't need units to be on patrol command, because then, you know, what are you doing? Okay, no, it's probably not. They've stopped now. So he's established the natural of where Protoss has trying to take a main. This base here is a real difference maker. if iNcontroL can get the saturated and get up to about 50 drones again, then he flies right back into condition. Is this our hero Zealot? It is! He's gonna win this whole game on his own. No, don't kill our hero Zealot! Oh, man. He was smashing this whole game. He was totally fearless. Okay, so Protoss decides they need to wipe the space out. I agree. It's the hardest space for Protoss, for Zerg to protect. Never mind, he's just ignored me and he's going the other way. That's not a good idea. You don't need to engage head-on with all of Zerg's army coming up in a linear fashion. You could just knock this down here and potentially try and target the space out here and force Zerg to come to you, but we're not going to listen, so we get flanked from two sides. Ultras on the left, Ultras on the right, and now we're conga lining with most of our goons not firing, most of our Archons at the back. Did we hallucinate Dragoons? What is even happening? Why is my voice so high? Don't do that, Rabbit. Okay, so why the hell have we got hallucinated Dragoons? It's going to mess the AI up, I suppose. I've never seen that, but that is the thumbnail, man. We are going to find some friggin' hallucinated Dragoons. Here come the Ultras. There is a lot of them. Like, seriously, a lot of them. 124 plays 157. Spend your money, LzGaMeR. Spend your money. Now you're moving on the base. I asked you to move on. Why now? Even with hallucinated Dragoons still in tow. How long does this last? Do they just evaporate or do they have to be killed? Alright, well, we'll find out soon enough. I don't have a lot of research on hallucinated Dragoons. iNcontrol's countering. Oh my god, the Space Cow Brigade is in full flight. So we don't engage head-on here in PvZ, guys. That's not how it's done. What we do is we come to your base while you wreck our home. And that's just how we do. So, the question I have is, why have we not ruined this base? I'm almost 99% sure you have to know that it's here. And can you hold this? It's DTs. I don't see any overlords, but there is so much damage. DPS, I think, is the term they use here. That these units and these buildings and everything just basically disappear. There was an overlord there to spot the DTs. So DTs aren't really the remedy. Our Protoss is moving in here. He's got a nice, healthy number of observers. Good boy. He's going to go here. He's going to smash this base. But in exchange for that, he's going to lose everything. He's going to have to re-establish a home. He's lost all his tech. He's lost all his gateways. He's lost all his production. He's lost a whole pile of pylons that he's going to have to rebuild. So he's in enormous pain unless he establishes a new home and feels like he can take this fight. So the Ultras are on the ramp. We have 5 observers here. So we certainly learned from what happened earlier. There's not a Scourge in sight now, but we have them just in case. That's for sure. Alright, so the Archons are coming in. The Goons are coming in. And that's going to be that. There is absolutely nothing here. These Archons are asleep. These Ultras are sleeping to knock off the remaining pylons. Goon pathing, man. Good luck getting up here. Okay, so the one Goon's like, fine. You can sort of come up. I'll let you. It's okay. And they're going to kill a few Sankas. He's going to get the tech as well. We could have a base race where the main is lost in exchange for the main. I don't know why iNcontroL doesn't bring these units up to at least try and help and at least trade or pick off some of the units. 92 plays 129. The Ultraless Cavern being picked would be a very, very handy target because he doesn't have another hive. He'd have to build another hive to rebuild an Ultraless Cavern. So the Queen's Nest and the Ultraless Cavern will certainly slow iNcontroL down if he needs to rebuild. And it does get to like a base trade type scenario. So I think both of these will go down. There's nothing really here that the Ultras are doing except knocking off a natural that doesn't have any minerals to it. Probably not the best use of the time. Maybe storming this, although the Reavers, good gracious me, there's a lot of them. So this seems to be his home away from home, but he's not trying to re-establish this base. He does have only a Ling there blocking him and nothing else. So the pool's going to go down. Everything is going to go down. So we are going to sit with a total factory reset on this match where it is anybody's guess to say where we are. So he has a Hydra Den here. So he can make Hydra. He's going to have to rebuild the spawning pool. And that is probably it. So there's a DT here. He does pick off a few Lings. The Protoss army is moving down. This is going to be the balance of the tech. So the Evo Chamber is going to go. This Hatchery is going to go. The Spire is going to go. It doesn't look like, because he's positioned these units on the ramp, that iNcontrol's units are actually going to be able to stop it. And he's decided not to try. I think he's just kind of deciding where to re-establish a new home. This game is epic. Absolutely epic. Action-packed time. If you're enjoying this, if you're still with me, please do hit that like button. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. This is what we do here, man. We bring fun Broodwar to you, and we certainly enjoy ourselves while we do so. So this is his new home. He's decided it's kind of natural with this back base here, I guess. The this kind of Protoss area is very isolated and kind of not really clear why it's there. He seems to be just banking on the fact that he's got a bit of money here, a bit of money here. He does have his army that's kind of still moving around, picking off the remaining scraps of the Zerg. There's a few drones up here that he probably can't see or get to. And this is where we are, man. Probably one of the crazier games that I've cast. It's an absolute swap. And there come the... you're not getting down there. Okay, so he's dropped here to try and save this position if Protoss wants to come up. So talk about next door neighbors. I think that actually would be a pretty good title or thumbnail wording. Next door neighbors. I'm going to work on that when we produce this thumbnail. Because there's the hallucinated goons are a beautiful picture. And the next door neighbors probably certainly be the theme. But okay, so now if you're Protoss, what do? You have a base with no tech. You're 2 robos, a support bay, and a cybernetics core. You've got a very, very annoying lurker that's been dropped here. A very annoying lurker that's been dropped here. You don't have an observatory. You don't have any tech. Build your observatory here, man. Do it quickly. Come on. Okay, so he doesn't need the observatory. He just needs to move his observers and his army. He can pick up some overlords here. He needs to get his mobile army into position because these Reavers are not mobile. They are slow, lazy lizards that are slow. I think I said that already. So gets 2 Reavers here for free. iNcontroL's really doing well positioning these lurkers here. And suddenly our Protoss is in real trouble. Yes, he's going to get this observer in play. And that's going to help because now the Reavers can fight back and suddenly send some Caterpillar Scarabs uphill, round a bend. No problem. The Scourge, though, come from nowhere and kill every observer that was here. Does he really have none left? No, he does. Okay, so he only sent 1. He's got 4 spares. Oh my god, I nearly had a conniption there. That he lost all his observers in one crack. That would have just been ridiculous, man. Okay, so here we go. Again with a high voice. Alright, so good shot there from the Scarab. Another observer picked up. Where is he finding all these Scourge all the time? More Reavers come out. A Scarab that doesn't do much. Still got the 4 lurkers powering away all the time. Keeping an eye on trying to keep his observers safe. So his observer needs to see what's happening, but by the same token, not get killed by Scourge. This game, man, absolutely insane. How is iNcontroL fighting his way out? Goes after him, but this time gets killed by a cannon. Again! Oh, and he gets it! The cannon's all fired on the Scourge, but the Scourge somehow get the observer. He's got 2 observers left. This is like Survivor Observer. This is the most ridiculous freaking thing. There is nothing else happening here. iNcontroL's re-establishing a hatch. He's got absolute map control because he realizes that Protoss doesn't have any mobile army. And the mobile army that he does have is standing over here, not really doing much because the Reavers are busy fighting against the lurkers. Again, another dead observer. He's got 1 observer. He's got 2 observers left. Is he got an observatory? Yes, he does because he's busy building another observer. But the observer snipes are saving iNcontroL in this game. It is unbelievable. Behind this, he's establishing 1 hatch. He's got this base. He's got this base. Our Protoss is here, unmining, nothing here. He's building his gateways and his tech here, but he's got absolutely no money. Our Protoss needs to find. He's got so much cash. He could be building nexuses everywhere. What is iNcontroL going to attack him with? He cannot get down this hill without facing him directly, unless he's going to drop or somehow circumvent him. But he needs to be establishing bases with this cash, surely. He can't just be sitting on this huge mineral balance and not expanding his operations. Also, a handful of units. A handful, like 3 or 4, like an Archon and 4 goons. Go here and wipe this out. Do not let this come up again. You've got to be more visible on the map. I think that's the purpose of this probe. But this probe has to discover this base. Otherwise, iNcontroL is going to get away with murder here, man. Okay, so the lurker harassment is done. The concentration or the army that we see is this. He has Hydras now supporting him. He's got Ultra supporting him. He's basically just looking at the kitchen sink and what he has left. 1 mining base, soon to become 2 mining bases. Protoss could so easily shut this down. So easily. And yet has not, which is still giving our Zerg a glimmer of hope. Sitting here and just holding this position. Probably fair, but there's not very much by way of money left here. So re-establishing a new base, and especially a new mining base, is absolutely critical. There has to be a fresh base. This one here potentially, excuse me, for where our Protoss does go. Otherwise, he keeps Zerg in the game. So this is still happening, but this time he's moving up the ramp. I don't know if you want to engage here. That's not a good idea. There's a lot of Hydras, and there's not that much more. So he seems to be wanting to go up just to pick off the lurker, but the pathing is giving him such a headache. Alright, so we are building a nexus here. We are establishing a new home. There's plenty of money here. There's plenty of money here. It makes sense. Zerg's going to have a very tough time getting there. He's going to have to drop. Something is in these damn overlords. He's dropping a whole heap of units on where he's established a gateway. This is a master stroke from iNcontroL. I did have a feeling that the distance between where he'd established his new army, but somehow all of these zealots are here. Obviously, he'd been pumping zealots out of these gateways all along and just left them here. So this is actually probably going to work out to be a decent trade for Protoss. He's going to get all the Hydras. Although, no, there's only one zealot left, so he drops just enough units. This is catastrophic because there's one pylon piling all 4 of these gateways. Maybe this one will power that one, but it's going to be really close. Anyway, he attacks. He's only got a High Templar that's come out of here. There's no other home away from home. There's a Nexus there, but no production. Our Protoss is absolutely crumbling here, unfortunately. He's not going to be able to get any units out here, so he's forced to actually move his units out. Or what does he do? Does he try and take down and save that position? Or does he move here and try and take down the other Protoss, the other Zerg hatchery? It looks like he's moving his units up to protect and re-establish this position. Suddenly a drop of lings here, so that's where he's decided to go and protect. A forge has come up so he can make cannons, but this Nexus is going to go down. These are lings. They are very, very, very aggressive, very, very fast attackers. He's transferred probes. The Archon should hopefully tidy up the balance of the lings. This game is non-stop. The Hydras here have done the maximum job that they're going to do. They're going to knock down every single gateway. There's absolutely nothing that Protoss can do about this. So Protoss now has a third new home away from home. And yes, this is a real game. I am not making this up. So, more overlords and more drops. Very much an option for iNcontroL. Looks like he's a few overlord shite. So he's short, should I say. So he's building 6 more. And I think the drops out is proving to be a very valuable strategy. Purely because of the fact that Protoss has got no air units and a highly lacking amount of mobile ground army. That's his mobile ground army. That's it. And it cannot be everywhere. It can be here to protect this. It can be here to protect this, but it cannot be in both places. And there is enormous distance between the two. I think the trick that our Protoss has missed and why he's probably going to lose this game is this base. This base has given iNcontroL so much oxygen, and he's been able to keep this base up as well because it's the back base to this one. And that is unfortunate. So some drops here on top of the cannons. The ultras are flying out. Our Protoss is going to get absolutely smashed. iNcontroL, you boss. You were down, out, and down some more, and out some more, and yet still you're able to come back, wreck this. There's no money here, unfortunately, but the tech is a serious blow. Our Protoss actually is out of any kind of production infrastructure at all anyway. There's a lurker here. This is the new Nexus that the Protoss has established. In fact, the Protoss is now basically trying to take the top right of the map and invite Zerg to come and break this in the meantime. Zerg like, alright, invitation accepted. I'll storm in the front door before you manage to re-establish this, because once I break through here, your next home is my logical next target. They flow beautifully. That's actually a nice storm. The Hydras dodged relatively well first time, but not the second time. These lings though, man, they do so much damage, but the Archons are a good counter for that. In they come. The Robo takes a hit. The lings come in here. They knock down the remaining cannons. There are 5 goons, 2 Archons left against a whole heap of units. There's more. Okay, that's overlords. There are more Hydras and more things that could come. Now, Zerg can move freely and reinforce. There's no longer an obstacle. They are no longer next door neighbors. It was not working out. One of them moved out, okay? So here we sit now with an unrelenting amount of Zerg. 66 plays 62. Protoss is mining a lot of gas here. I suppose he was just saving his probes. But could transfer here, and he needs to quickly. Transfer your workers, please. Get minerals, build stuff. What are you going to build? You don't have. You got 1 gateway. Where are you going to build gateways? Here, come on, get some gateways going. Make stuff. Zerg is just going to hatch. Cannons are not going to save you forever. It's just not going to happen. Does he have enough income? He's got this base. He's got this base. And he's also re-established this. This is huge. So if you can get this saturated again. He's got this, which has been saturated the whole time. And in my opinion, probably what's won in the game. Here comes the Overlord. He's not going to drop anything. He's going to die, I think, before he drops. I don't know. Okay, so he does drop a few, but I think these cannons are going to do the job. 3 of them is more than enough. Staging his units here and just trading. Little by little. Targets down the Reaver. That was nicely done. But I think now he's probably going to just take a breath, consolidate his final push on this base. And when he breaks this, he will win and pull off an incredibly unlikely win based on where he was at about 15-16 minutes into this game. I think Protoss will rewatch this game and ask himself, you know, if only I'd done this or if only I'd done that, I don't think I would have lost. That sometimes happens in this game. It's probably what makes it the most frustrating but also the most beautiful game there is. It's a game of instant decision making, and you can learn. Regretting what you've done doesn't really help. Only learning from it is what you do. I'm sure he learned plenty from this and many other practice games that he would have played against iNcontroL over the years. Alright, so I'm going to catch my breath here. I think iNcontroL is just basically gathering his forces until he feels he has sufficient critical mass to take down this base. And then from there, he does the drop here. So deciding to drop into the main or the new main first, because there's absolutely no production and 3 cannons, which is nothing. So the Archon, I think, is a good target. Deciding not to take too much cannon fire. 3 is quite a lot. He does drop back a Reaver here. Watch out for the Scarab! Okay, so he only gets 1 Hydra with a Scarab. The Hydra seem to be targeting down... Oof! A nice shot there. Targeting down the Nexus and nothing else. Oh! Another one there. 3. Ouch! But they do get the Nexus. That's clutch because he's really running low on money. That was another beautiful Scarab, man. Look at these carcasses. Juicy, juicy, juicy. So this is it then, because he doesn't have the Nexus. He needs to re-establish that Nexus. That's going to take time. He just doesn't have. And so he cannot trade out efficiently. Why is this High Templar come here? Just to throw down a Storm? Okay, well, to be honest, he threw down... he killed about 12 Hydras there with 2 Storms. So can't argue with that. That was pretty nifty. Okay, so we're staging. We may do another drop while this Nexus is on the way. We're long distance mining here because we just don't have enough crystals on this side. iNcontroL's getting lurkers into the game. Do we have observers? The answer to that, by the looks of things, is no. And we don't have an observer. We've got 2 stuck goons here. That's such a pity, man. 1 shuttle, whatever, but I don't know if 2 goons is going to make an enormous difference. It just is what it is. Okay, so he does have this observer. He needs to move this observer fast. This observer needs to come here because the lurkers are going to come in and they are going to start to become a serious, serious nightmare. What a game this has been. This Nexus is almost done. It will mean at least that our Protoss is back to saturation, but he's reloading up for more drops. And that just seems to be the way it's done here. So the lurker drops. That observer, like I said, isn't in play. Oh, what a beautiful storm, though. So a lot of the units that were dropped basically died instantly. Not a lot of units are left, although here are some lurkers. The cannons are not going to range where these lurkers are. So these lurkers are going to manage to kill a lot of the outer infrastructure. The Lings, though, do the job. The cannons are gone, and now this base is screwed. The only observer in the game is still chilling here. So now he's moving his Reavers across. He isn't concurrently storming the front door. I think he identified that the natural is what we need to focus. Sorry, the main is what he needs to focus on. Forget about the natural, which is fairly turtled up. This Nexus is going to fall again. A lot of probes are going to die. And this is just going to be the end of the journey for our Protoss. What an epic game. What a battle between these 2 players. A lot of determination, a lot of keenness not to give up. The observer has arrived. He did move from the bottom. He was the only observer left. And there's 1 here too. Okay, so we have 2 observers in play and 3 over there. So we have kept a few alive all game. And we really need them because the Reavers are coming in and they are wrecking these remaining lurkers. That's the end of that lurker. There's 1 lurker left. He's going to get himself a probe. No, he doesn't. The probe walks away and lives to fight another day. And this Reaver is going to tidy up. So iNcontroL is 92. LzGaMeR is 56. So he's dead. It's just a matter of time. Here come the Lings. Here come everything that's left. Basically, iNcontroL is going to load up the kitchen sink. And he's going to win this game. Probably in this exchange or 1 very soon. And I'll say it before. I'll say it again. This base being left to come up and fully get mined out is the reason why iNcontroL wins this game. It is a game of such small margins, StarCraft. Decisions, things you don't see, things you miss, attacks you choose to take, attacks you choose not to take, bases you choose to target, and when you choose to target them. And I think that's ultimately what our Protoss got wrong in this match. So here it is, staging of the units. Guardians are arriving, not to be outdone. I've seen at least 2 games now with iNcontroL producing Guardians. So the Guardians are going to finish off what's left of our Protoss, assuming they're actually allowed to come up or need to come up. He's fighting with probes. This guy is so determined. Do not give up. He's got no probes left. He's going down to 30 supply. I think that's unfortunately going to be the end of this one. Here come the space crabs as well. Gives a GG. Well played to both players. iNcontroL, you boss. Unfortunately for our Protoss, letting this base live at about the halfway point in this game, gave iNcontroL the opportunity to resaturate and reload. The drop play from iNcontroL, I think, was incredibly strong. It helped him break being a next door neighbor over here, or to break this natural base down here. It helped him break this natural here, and it was just a masterful tactical game from both players, and a lot of fun. I really enjoyed bringing it to you today. My name is RabbitRoo. I'm a variety Brood War caster. If you enjoyed this game, please do subscribe to the channel for regular Brood War casts. Until next time, ciao for now.